Hello random viewers and welcome to the 15th episode of my Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. This is Season 2, and I'm pretty sure it's episode 15, but of course I am not positive because I am forgetful. Sorry. Alright, so if you remember last episode, we were working on this. Here we go, the Ares 1 ship. So here's what we've got so far. We have the re-entry and core section, and the 2 artificial gravity rings. And then we also have this tug attached. So this episode, we're going to continue construction on this. We need to really make some progress on it. I think today we're going to be launching the science modules, and I've actually expanded upon those a lot. I added an additional science section for one of the landers with the extra fuel. It's hard to explain. I'll show you when it's in space. In this episode, it's going to come out a little bit later because I don't have a lot of time today, and my little brother won't have time to do any editing, so it'll probably come out to you Tuesday night. So sorry about that, and I've got to work Monday night, so yeah, that's why you can't get it then. Nope, not ground base. Yes, ground base. That's what it's called. Alright, so as you can see when I zoom out, the fairing's been extended a bit. Just a bit. So yeah, we've got one of the ground bases, another ground base, a tug for reorganizing, and then a science module with extra fuel that will dock to the top of one of those landers that I showed you, like the upper stage of one of those landers that'll land on Duna. That way we can go to Ike and get science. One for space, one for orbit around Ike, one for the surface of Ike, because we have contracts for that. So yeah, that is this one. This is going to be the first launch. Yeah, so here we go. I hope you enjoyed the launch. Alright, so we're approaching the ship now. Got our module ready to go. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of the RCS here in a second to slow us down. As soon as we get a little bit closer, I know exactly where I want to dock, and then that's fast enough. Stop, that's enough. Okay, I'm going to target that, set that as target, and now I'm going to, hopefully, I'll turn the RCS off for that. The idea now is that I'm going to drift away and then drift towards it. Docking is kind of difficult. Okay. So now that we've set that as the target, we can turn. Nope. Not that direction. That direction. We were a little too close. Come on, stop turning. That's enough. Thank you. Point directly at the target, please. Right there, just about. And then what I do is I'll switch over to it. That button, I will control from here, and then set that as my target. And then what I can do is I can turn the station to point directly at that, and then it makes things a lot easier for me. There. See that? And then this aligns the docking ports for us. In the future we won't be able to do this, but in the future we'll have a tug, which will be very helpful. Actually, we have the tug, it's right there, but we need it to stay attached for the moment. Now this is just a storage docking port. I'm going to move it later. But yeah, that should be fine. Stop turning, please. Please stop turning. Please stop turning. Please. Stop moving. It's enough. Just right there. Okay. Now I'm going to switch back to this. Controlling from here again. Control from here. Set as target, and then chase camera. Okay, RCS on. Okay, go towards the target, please. And then I just use the translation control to adjust. So this docking is going to take place at night, and it's going to take a very long time to get it just right. I'll come back when I'm actually connected. Here we are docked. I time warped to morning so that we can actually see. What I'm going to do is transfer as much of the fuel to this stage as possible because I'm using it as a fuel storage area. Okay, how much can I transfer over? Let's transfer over as much as I can. Okay, that should do that. And it has no RCS fuel left. I had to burn a tiny bit of the fuel from the tug here, but that's okay. We're now going to decouple. So, yep. Oh, what does this say? Oh, yeah, great. We got money for building an orbital station. Good. We're going to decouple this. Now, it's a bad idea to use staging. And then, before... Come on, I know you're capable of turning. You've got tiny reaction wheels. Come on. It has its own solar panels, so we don't have to worry about it dying too much. Decoupling's putting it on a good course. It's very lightweight, so that decoupling really pushed this a lot more than the station. Right here I'm going to burn a tiny bit of fuel, just so that we don't have to worry about hitting the ship when we do the deorbiting burn. There we go. That's good. We can use the alt time acceleration. Well, physics time acceleration is what they call it. I honestly don't care that much. And now I'm going to align ourselves with the retrograde vector. No Kerbal Engineer on this, so I'll have to use the map view. Alright, SAS on, please. There you go. And then we'll fly by that nicely. I turned off all the engines except for the outer, except for the inner one, just because we don't need any of the other ones. Right, let's burn off as much of this as we can, and then let's see if we can land it. There. I saved some fuel. Great. Let's see what happens. I'll be right back. Looks like we're through the worst of the re-entry. Things are looking pretty good. We've got plenty of electrical power. Monopropellant's dead. Tiny bit of fuel left. Just enough, I think, to bring it to a stop, hopefully. I don't need the outer engines. The center one will be plenty. And hopefully it'll lose a lot of velocity just due to aerodynamic resistance. Alright, I'm going to quick save this, just because I want to do this perfectly. So, editor, please splice in the clip of this actually working, right about here. There we go, perfect landing. It only took a lot of tries. You can throw in a little montage here of all the terrible tries. Okay, there we go. Stage completely saved. I can recover it and get those expensive engines back and make some, and, you know, use less money. What did we get? Nice! 3,000... oh, 4,000 credits about. That's pretty good. Alright, now we have to do some reorganizing of the station. Just because the way it's laid out is not making me happy at the moment. You know, this is just a temporary setup. We need to get these science modules docked here and here, and we have to get this thing... Actually, this thing's gonna stay where it is at the moment. I didn't lay this out very well. I need this tug to get down here. This is gonna take a while. Yeah, I'll be back after I've done that. So there's that moved again. We now have a science module here, and now we need to put one here. I think I can actually transfer all of this monopropellant fuel over into the tug. The tug is now on the back. I'm going to use the tug to transfer this over to here, and then I'll probably just leave the tug there and send up the next section if I can. No, the tug's got to be used a lot. This is going to be pretty difficult, but I think I can do it. I've got to rearrange this a lot because what's coming up next is the drive section, and that has to go here. It takes up this whole area, and I've got a lot of stuff here. I don't have a lot of free docking ports on this thing, which makes things difficult, so I'm probably going to have to use the tug, dock this here, then go over with the tug, grab this thing, and dock it on top of one of these, and then, from there, use this thing's own thrusters to bring it around on top or something. I don't know. It's getting ridiculous, but we'll get it eventually. So this will take me a while. I'll be right back. Okay, I figured out what I'm going to do. I got the tug down here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to send up the drive section and attach it to either here or here using one of its 3 docking ports, because it has 3 docking ports designed to attach to one of these. Transfer all the fuel from this into the drive section, because I have to launch the drive section empty because it is so heavy, even then. And then I can deorbit this and get it out of the way, because right now I'm just using it as a storage spot. I kind of need to get rid of it soon. So I'm going to switch to the drive section and we will launch that shortly. I'll be right back. Alright, I just realized we have a small problem, and that is there's definitely no fairing that can fit the drive section. So we need to unlock the next level of fairings. And I could do a science mission of some sort, but contracts have been kind of crappy lately. Yeah. On assignment near Kerbal. What is this? I'll be doing that later, I guess. How long do I have? Where does it say duration? It doesn't say duration. I'm not accepting that if I don't know the duration. Anyways, point is, yeah, we need science, and none of these contracts are going to help us with science. Luckily, we do have this little thing right here on its way to Eve in about 150 days. We have plenty of time before we have to launch towards Duna. So, let's finish this mission up. I'm going to warp to this maneuver. We will perform it, check for contracts, and then we'll head on to Eve. So, I will be right back. Now we're coming up on the burn for this probe that's going to land on Eve. So I'm going to turn on the RCS. Actually, no, I'm going to time accelerate a little bit closer to the burn. I'm going to get about... There we go. You don't have to be super precise with these burns in deep space. It doesn't make a huge difference. So I'll settle the fuel, and then I will ignite the engines. And there we go. This should put us on an intercept with Eve, just because we weren't having one before. That's looking good. I want to stay aligned with that maneuver as best as possible. And I'm going to prepare to cut engines there. We seem to be spazzing out a bit. A little bit more. Does that help a little? 27. Just watching our Eve peri-ups. It's dropping a little bit better. There we go. That's better. Let's get that down to... Why are you doing this? Right there. Before it starts spazzing out again. We now have an intercept with Eve. That's good. I'll probably do another mid-course correction at some point to fine-tune it even better. I got a contract to land some tourists on Minmus, so we could do that, get some science. That'd be kind of cool, a tourist rocket. I'd have to figure out how to build that. Probably be pretty big. If I can get more contracts, though, that'd be great. So I'm going to warp to right about here. I'm going to do some orbital mechanics stuff, and yeah. Alright, so I'm back. This is what I designed. I'm probably not going to do the Minmus mission today because of time constraints, unfortunately. This will be a very short episode, probably only 10 minutes, but hey, it's better than nothing. So yeah, here is the Kamar 2, as I'm calling it, because the Kamar 1 was my first Minmus rocket and moon. Didn't work so well. No, it did work on the moon. Just barely. So yeah, it has spots for 4 tourists. I accepted another tourist contract, so now I can carry like 4 Kerbal tourists and a pilot. So I'll have a part under here that has science and engines for landing on Minmus. This will be like the ascent stage and the landing stage. No heat shield, it's a glider. So yeah, it works okay. It's a little bit fidgety, but that's what's to be expected of such a small aircraft with such stubby wings, but I want it to fit inside a reasonably sized fairing. So this is the price you have to pay for that, and I'm willing to pay it. If you leave the SAS on, you're fine. And then I'll put probably the old Kamar booster underneath. If not, I can put one of the Helia heavy boosters underneath, and that should be able to lift it. So I'm going to go and land on Eve now with that probe that I launched a few episodes ago. So I will be right back. You can see Eve off in the distance there. We'll be arriving in a few days. I'm going to have to... I don't know very much about aerobraking at Eve. I've never actually sent a mission there. So I'm going to have to play around a lot. Get low enough so that the heat shield doesn't... fairing doesn't get burned off, but high enough that we get captured. So yeah, that's going to be a delicate balance. I will figure it out, though. I know Eve's atmosphere is incredibly thick, so it shouldn't be too terribly difficult. Yeah, so I'm going to film all the attempts, and then put in the successful one. That's why it's going to be terrible editing this, and which is why it's going to take so long. So I will be back, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, so Eve's atmosphere is terrible, as proved by that. Barely survived aerobraking, took some serious damage along the way. Yeah, we lost our solar panels, and our landing struts, and our RCS thrusters. Yeah, and it did nothing. We've got to use our engines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quick load, and we're going to have to use our engines, which is terrible. I'm glad I have so much fuel left over. Hopefully I have enough to bring us to a stop, because if not, we're in trouble. Let's raise that up to about 100 kilometers. There we go. Then let's do warp here. So, as you guys know, there's a new version of Kerbal Space Program out. Well, maybe not all of you know that, but there is. A lot of mods have not shifted over yet, so I haven't switched to it yet. And also, you've got to have communication satellites, and I have, like, basically none of those. They've added completely new antennas, so the antennas I already have on those communication satellites wouldn't work well. So I don't think transferring this save over is going to be a good option. So we have some options. I could try to transfer it over and set up a satellite grid after I've done my Mars mission, Duna mission, or I could start a new save after I've done my Duna mission, or I could just keep playing in this version. So please tell me what you think of those. It's very important that you guys decide that, because yeah, there's many different ways this could go. Starting from scratch might be the best option, but this is only episode 15. It's not like I've gone that far, so I feel like I could do a lot better. Alright, it's time to ignite the engines, and let's see what we can do. That, we don't want it going down too much. That looks good. Oh, look at that. We've got that there. Plenty of fuel to do that. It's not that terrible slowing down. I'm going to bring that in to about there for the communications satellite. There we go. Yeah, that should be good. And then I can warp here. I know exactly what I'll do. I'll go up here. And... no, why'd you go past the apoapse? Fine. I'll quick save here. And then what we'll do is we will use the RCS to begin re-entering the atmosphere with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to burn backwards, burning off some extra fuel, and we're going to get that into the atmosphere a bit. I want all the fairing bits to also go into the atmosphere. This will take a while. I'll be right back. Okay, that should do it. Now I'm going to jettison the fairing, and then I will jettison the probe, which I hope has Kerbal Engineer on it. I don't think it does. Does this have Kerbal Engineer? No, I think once we jettison from here, we'll no longer have Kerbal Engineer. Alright, RCS is being unlocked. There. That should re-enter and explode. Let's see. And then we'll hit M, and then RCS on. Come on. I've got to enable the thrusters. Enable RCS port. Enable RCS port, please. Okay. RCS on. There we go. Now we can raise that back up above the atmosphere so that we don't explode. I'm going to get that up to around here. Alright. I'll let that drift away for a while. I'm going to quick save here. And then we're going to switch to that one and watch it blow up. So, yeah. Let's switch over to it. And we'll watch it burn up in the atmosphere. Because that's fun. Okay. Alright, here comes the atmosphere. Turn RCS and SAS off. Oh, what did they say? Achieved orbit around Eve, and they're all happy. As soon as this begins to enter the atmosphere, it's in trouble. There we go, there's the atmosphere. This is ridiculous. Okay. Tracking station, please. Great. We blew that up. Let's switch to the Marius. Picked the wrong Marius, didn't I? Yep, this is the wrong Marius. Dang it. That's what I get for naming them the same thing. Focus view, please. Let's fly that probe. Switch to. And it just flies above the atmosphere all happy and safe. Okay. Oh, and right here, how much RCS fuel do I have? I've got plenty. RCS off. Let's try and lower my apoaps a lot. Okay, H. Alright, yep. We don't want to lower the periaps too much. We can always angle upwards if we're killing our periaps too much. There we go. I'm watching our RCS fuel. I want to keep some of that. There, that does... Nope, not that much, not that much. There we go, that's better. That should bring our apoaps down a lot. Yeah. The idea here is to lose some speed. That way when the lander portion enters, it's not going to have as much trouble. And it's not going to die as terribly. That's the idea anyways. Yeah, I'm worried that it's not going to survive re-entry. But yeah, I will be right back. Here comes another attempt. This one should hopefully be better. And then that should end our time acceleration. Yes. Alright, SAS off, please. Let's really hope that this doesn't burn up either. This one's lower now. Log pressure data. Keep that, please. Log temperature. Keep that, please. Okay. Now we're losing some ablator pretty quickly. Oh, that's bad. Please start going up soon. SAS on, please. Let's really keep this thing angled perfectly. I'm afraid we're going to lose the landing legs. Yeah, does this edit our orbit at all? Barely. Dang. This is awful. And it's going to lower our periaps slightly every time, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. Hey, at least we lost some energy. This is going to take a very long time. I'm going to keep trying. Every time I come to the top of my orbit, I will transmit some of the data. Hopefully this will work, but we might not be able to land. We'll see. So I'll be back when we start getting a little bit deeper in the atmosphere. Finally, we're starting to get into some of the thicker stuff. I'm noticing an exponential curve. Slowly, this orbit's starting to fall faster and faster. So hopefully I won't have to suffer through this much longer. I've already done this about 10 times. I'm going to run out of ablator probably, but at this point, no atmosphere is really this difficult, and basically I have justification to cheat. I'll just turn off, I'll just ignore max temperature, and re-enter that way if that starts causing problems, because in real life only one probe has ever landed on Venus, which is our equivalent of Eve, and it didn't last very long on the surface, but it very easily survived re-entry and things. The problem with our probes, and the reason only one has ever landed, which the Russians managed to do, by the way, one of many things the Russians actually did that the Americans did not, but the big issue was they just couldn't hit it. But if they could get it to hit Venus, the only one that actually made it there survived just fine. So that's 100% success rate, I do believe. There may have been others that didn't go as successfully that made it there, but I'm pretty sure none of them made it there except for that one. And it was the one that was designed to land that did make it there was able to land. So mine obviously made it there, so it should be able to land nowhere near as difficult as this. And it's very unrealistic for the atmosphere to be causing this much heat this high up. Atmospheres start gradually. They don't happen all at once. This kind of heat with it being this not dense is just unrealistic and annoying. So yeah. The reason I'm leaving these doors open is because they provide extra drag, slow me down faster. But yeah, I'll come back. This does take quite a while. I'm back now. It took me about 2 hours. It's been terrible. Anyways, we're finally starting to make headway. My periaps moves a lot every pass through the atmosphere, and I think we're finally going to start re-entering. Yeah, I talked about the days that I wanted this episode to be released earlier. That obviously didn't happen. I'm sorry, but I can only do so much. Yeah, this whole re-entering thing took a lot longer than you'd think. So, I'm going to give you an accelerated version of the next few passes through the atmosphere, because it's either going to be this one or the next one, or maybe the one after that, where we're going to start to plunge in. So, enjoy. Alright, there we are through the worst of the atmosphere. We're already going very slow. Yeah, Eve's atmosphere is very, very thick, so we're gonna fall very slowly. Does this count as lower atmosphere? Let's open the doors, please. That'll slow us down even further. Log pressure data. We're flying at Eve. Keep that data, please. We'll transmit it later. Log temperature. Keep that data. Oh, let's review data. Okay. And then let's observe one of these. Mr. Goose, what do you say? You observe the goose. Thank you. Not very much science for transmitting. We may not be able to pay for that fairing base. We might have to do that tourist mission to Minmus. But I think that will wait till next episode, just because I don't have a ton of time. Hang on, let me pause the recording. Okay, here comes the ground. I'm going to deploy the drogue chutes at this time. There we go. Those should slow us down further. And then landing gear, please. At least they deploy nicely. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And those parachutes should open sooner or later. Yeah, we're starting to see... Hang on. Sorry about that. Yeah, there go the parachutes. Good. And wow, we could land on just the drogue chutes. That's insane. I'll come back when we're close to the ground. It's going to take a while to drift down there. Okay, here comes the landing. It's very strange. A purple sky. Whatever. It's a pretty good spot to land, actually. Pretty flat. It's going to angle us downward slightly, which will decrease solar panel efficiency. But that's fine. You know, I could angle it slightly like that. Nah, it's not going to make a difference. Alright, let's enjoy the landing. Very gentle and slow. Oh, gravity's a bit high here. Let's retract the legs and not flip over, please. Thank you. SAS off. There we go. We are now on the ground, and we're getting solar power. Let's transmit this, review data, and transmit, please. Good. That's transmitting. View data and transmit. There we go. Okay, come on, extend. I want to leave those antennas out. I don't want them going up and down a lot. There we go. Then we will transmit the mystery goo, review data, and transmit. Transmit data. Thank you. Yeah, electrical charge is a little bit low. Let's observe materials bay. Oh, only 35 science. Wow. The crushing pressure of the atmosphere is causing some of the materials to crystallize rapidly. That's nice. Keep that. We'll review it later. Observe mystery goo. Why are you turning? You observe the goo. Thanks for nothing. Why is it turning? Let's just jettison the heat shield. That might keep us safe. There we go. If this continues, we're going to lose all our solar power. We're already losing a ton of efficiency from those panels. Dang. Anyways, let's look at these contracts. Land on Eve. They're happy about that. And they're happy about that. Let's get this data transmitting pretty soon. Okay. Log pressure data. Okay. It's very dense at the surface. It crushes down on the instrument. Okay, that's nice. Transmit that, please. Let's hope we don't die. Oh. Returning data transmission. Ah, dang. It was aborted. Okay. No. I'm really worried. Why is the probe turning? Why? It doesn't make any logical sense. I have a last-ditch effort. Not exactly what I had. There we go. That's what I'm really confused now. This is just great. I'll come back after I've gathered all the science and transmitted it. It's just a matter of power. Alright, here goes the last transmission. View data and transmit. Transmit the data. There we go. Oh, please have please have enough. That's not good. Oh wow. That's scary. We almost didn't have enough power. Alright, great. That's all the science we're going to get from this. And we have no choice but to leave it on its side now, but at least the spinning is more controllable than it was. I want to see something, though. I will show you guys here in a second. Yep, purple atmosphere makes a green sunrise, however that works. Alright, so as you can see, it's starting now. The atmosphere is becoming green in places. What else is there? The probe is completely dead at this point, but we can still look at this. You successfully explored Eve, tons of money and reputation, and they're happy about that. So that's all great. Let's this is just so odd. Like, look at that. The whole sky lights up this crazy green color as the sun rises. Yeah, Eve is pretty weird. This is one of the more strange planets I've seen. So it fades from yellow, and from yellow it turns grayish, and then turns to purple. Because that makes sense. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think and what I should do in the future. Tell me what games you want me to cover on this channel, or if you want me to do more real-life stuff. So, I'll see you next episode, whenever that is. Have a nice day.